What's up everyone, Matt here. Today I'm going to show you how to take a long form YouTube video and crunch it down into a short or a TikTok or a reel, and that way you can reuse your existing content on other platforms. Now to do this, I'm going to do everything in Final Cut Pro. I already have a project that is from my music channel where I talk about a pro producer versus an AI producer. So that's the project we're gonna use. Again, this is in Final Cut Pro. And I thought it'd be really cool to do one of these deep dives, long, super long form videos so you can see the actual process and what's all involved in making this type of content. So let's do it. So here we are in Final Cut Pro. I'm not gonna play back the whole video. If you wanna see it, I'll put a link in the description. But this is the video here, and it starts with a little info up top. Let's talk about AI, as artificial intelligence can kind of give you a little background on what AI in the music industry is. And then we get to this next part here where I talk about the challenge, because it is a pro versus AI video. This is the challenge. The challenge: make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM of 162. So this right here, we know this is important information that we need in the reel 100% so people know what's happening. If we keep going, we go to the rules. Here are the rules. I get 1 day to create the song from start to end. So again, another important part, so you know I have the challenge, I have the rules, we gotta keep this part. You know, I think it's important to know that the idea here is, in the beginning, we need to make it very captivating, take the most interesting part of our long form video and put it in the very beginning. So that way it catches people's attention right off the bat. And we need to trim off anything excess, any super long talking head moments, any excess info that isn't really necessary to understand the point of the video. Let's just get rid of it. And in my opinion, sometimes it's kind of heartbreaking because, you know, I spent so much time and effort editing and making this, to cut it all away is kind of hard to do. But in this scenario, it's necessary, and hopefully by doing this, we'll draw people to our other platforms like YouTube and things like that so they can see the full long form video. So that's just a side note there. Let's keep going. This is all the rules, so we're gonna have to cut this down quite a bit. And then this part I think is important, where I'm talking to people about, you know, I have this section that says you will be the judge, which is really great to have because it engages. It makes people realize, like, okay, cool, I get to decide which song is better in this scenario. You will be the judge. After the tracks are created, I'll A/B them. Not only will you get to decide which is better, but you also get to guess who made which track. So I think that's really important. And then we get to this part where I actually showed the two tracks, intro, verse, chorus. And then we go to track B, intro, verse, chorus. And then this part, I discuss which track was which. So I let you know which one's which. So we got to keep that. When I was making this video, I did want it to be a little longer. So I also showed the second part of the song right here, A and B. And then I have this outro where I just kind of talk about what I think AI is going to change in the music industry, and my regular, you know, thanks for watching, subscribe, outro, jazz. So a lot of that stuff we're just going to get rid of because we don't actually need it. So let's start from the beginning. First thing I like to do is duplicate this project. So I'm just going to hit duplicate. We can title this AI Reel. And a little trick that I have found, and I'll upload this to the description to my PayHip, and you can download it for free. It's just an overlay. And I like to turn on my vertical video format overlay, right? So let's set that to 100%. And now you can see we have this overlay. Let me zoom out a little. And you can see it's pretty much giving you that format. Now, this isn't gonna export your video in this format because all it's doing is overlaying, cutting off the sides. You can see if I change this to 50% opacity, you can kind of see what's happening here. It just has this little cut. But this is like the best way to cut down your video, know what you need to center and move before you make another project in vertical format size. I like to do it this way first, cut everything down, get everything centered and placed to where it needs to be, and then put it in its own project, which is vertical size. So we're gonna set this back to 100%, and let's just start cutting away here. I think what I wanna do is start with the part where I'm talking about the challenge. This part. The challenge. Make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM of 162 that a modern radio rapper would topline. I think that's a great starting part. Right off the bat, it's kind of attention grabbing. So we're gonna use that. So we're gonna get rid of this track and this track. So I'm gonna put a new audio track in there. I like this little whoosh. The challenge. And the voiceover is great. So I'm gonna cut all this, Command B, and we are gonna delete it. Now we're starting here. The challenge. Make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM of 162 that a modern radio rapper would topline. So you can see a lot of this is maybe the text is too big or it's not centered. Before I get into adjusting and moving all of those things, I'm just gonna get the story outlined. I think that's the best way to do it. Get your story outlined, get it to 1.5 minutes or 60 seconds, whichever one you're doing, and then go back and make your edits. Just makes the process a lot easier so you know what you need to do. Let's keep going. Here are the rules. I get 1 day to create the song from start to end. AI gets, well, a few minutes. My track will be made entirely of things that I play, no loops, all MIDI, straight from my head. For the AI track, we'll be creating it through soundful.com. What's cool about so that's all great. For the AI track, we'll be creating it through soundful.com. Let you know what we're creating the AI track with. What's cool about Soundful is they use one-shot samples of individual notes to generate. As much as I like this part, I think it's unnecessary for this type of video. As opposed to this is good information in a long form video, and if they want to see that, we can direct them to see the long form video. So I think we cut all that. So we cut right here. What's cool about Soundful, boom, let's cut all that. Let's keep going. Isn't sponsored, and I wasn't paid to do this. Since music is subjective and there's really no right or wrong, you will be the judge. I think that's good. Let's keep that. Music is subjective. Let's start there, and we'll clean up all the audio fades as well. Let's start with the music is subjective. Maybe we do the since music is subjective. Since music is subjective. So let's cut right there. And same thing, let's just delete this whole section. Now we're going soundful.com. Since music is subjective. See, so it's just cutting things out, but making sure it flows as far as the voiceover goes. You don't want it to sound like it's all over the place. So that works. I say what it is, and I say music is subjective, and there's really no right or wrong. You will be the judge. Okay, so after the you will be the judge, we're just gonna go straight to the tracks. Just let them know you're gonna be the judge straight, and then cut it straight to the track. So we can get rid of all this. You will be the judge. Now, because we don't have that much time in the short, as much as I'd love to play this whole song back, I think we need to cut the intros out entirely because we don't have time for them, unfortunately. So we're gonna cut all of this, and we're gonna start at the verse. Delete. It's a lot of deleting. Cool. And then track B, we'll put new text up here that just says track B, so same thing. We can cut this, get rid of this. Don't need the motion blur, cut that whole section out. And this whole intro is gonna go. We're gonna cut that whole thing out. Boom. So now we're going from track 1 straight to track 2, easy. Now they have the comparison between the two, and we'll put track A and track B so they know which is which. And then we go to this part, It's good to be keeping an eye on the time while you're doing this. You can see I'm already at 1 minute and 16 seconds, so we got to move it along. This is my end marker here, 1:30. I think we're just right. Track A was the AI track, and track B was my track. I'd love to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. But let's check out the middle A. So we can cut right there. Let me know in the comments below. Again, that creates engagement. Says, hey, let me know what you think. So we'll cut right there. And then all this, we're not going to show this part of the track. Hearing the AI track compared to mine is honestly crazy. The power this platform can provide is incredible. And this is all just information that I don't think we need in the reel or short. Again, we can direct people to see the long form YouTube video, whether it's by link or even doing a call out in the reel that says, hey, check this out on my YouTube channel. So all that's gonna go. We don't need the outro. All this can go. We could just, boom, gone. All right, so we're at 1 minute and 25 seconds. That's perfect. I still think we can clean up some parts here and there, so let's do that real fast. See what we have overlapping. A couple things we can clean up. Cool. So we go straight to here. And it shows course. So in this situation, the easiest thing to do would just be, well, let's make sure these are. So let's just shorten this a little. I'd like it to end a little sooner. Perfect. So you can see it's just a lot of shortening things, making it all. Then we go to track B there. All right, where can we cut down? Track. When you're doing this, make sure you lock any audio clips. So let's just shorten this to here, boom. Track A was the AI track, and track B was my track. Cool. All right, so now that we have all this pretty much together, what I like to do is start adjusting the size of things. So to do that, I'm just going to grab all of this and make it a compound clip by hitting Option G. And we're going to say track compare. I like to name things. All right. And now you see I put it here. I don't know what it did over here with moving this, but we could just put that back there. So now you see you have this, it's all one, and we could just take this and adjust the size. Get rid of that there. So let's just scale this down, something like that. Easy. Brought it down to 52%. You can see it's just cruising along. You still get the full animation. Again, I think we need to put track A up top and track B on top of the other side. But that's done. We'll come back to the text shortly. So now let's adjust some of this stuff up top. Now you could do the same thing here and just select it all and make it smaller. That's one easy way to do it. I think some of this is going to take some adjusting because it is text, so I'll probably just come in here and adjust the text size of each one. Maybe this one actually is stacked like that. Just the spacing a little bit. Boom, and then just make sure it's centered. Boom. The challenge. Make a hip-hop track. Nice. Now all these, let's just try to adjust all of these at the same time. We might have to make some adjustments on each one, but let's see what that looks like. Make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM of 162 that a modern radio rap. Perfect, that's done. This we need to recenter. So I'm just going to hit the little transform box, and then if you hold shift while you do this, it's not going to move up and down, only side to side. Kind of locks it, which is nice. So I'm just going to center that.
That a modern radio rapper would top line. Here are the rules.
Same thing with the rules. I think maybe we hit enter here. And ignore this box that's going on the outside. That's just from the overlay. It's some weird glitch. Let's make this a little smaller. And just adjust this to be in the center. Boom.
Here are the rules.
I get 1 day to create the song from so same thing, we just kind of have to make some adjustments here. And some of this has some movement going on already. You can see it's zooming in. So because of that, we have to create compound clips so that way it locks in that automation. You don't have to redo it every single time. So just Command G, you can name it whatever you want. And now I can take this, move it over a little so it doesn't mess with my zoom in that's happening.
The song from start to end.
AI gets nice. This one, that's centered. I'm cool with that. This one doesn't have any movement, so maybe we move it over a little.
Well, a few minutes.
Same with this one. We can adjust this. So it's just a lot of like small adjusting, right? I look centered here. These need to be adjusted. We can take those down a little in size. All MIDI. Looks good. No loops. Pull this font size down. Boom.
No loops, all MIDI, straight from my head. For the AI track, we'll be creating it through soundful.com. Since music is subjective.
So this one, just zoom in a bit and start adjusting the size. I think these only need to go down a little. Subjective is a long word. Subjectively. See what I did there? Pull that down. You will be the judge. All needs to get smaller. Just pull that down. That looks good.
You will be the judge.
And then it starts. Okay, perfect. So that's pretty much the whole intro.
The challenge. Make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM of 162 that a modern radio rapper would top line. Here are the rules.
I get 1 day to... Cool, that looks good. I'm just going to drag a track back in here. So we have some music behind that intro. We can pretty much roll it out to here. And put a nice fade. Turn this down to around -22.
The challenge. Make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM.
Something to help move it along.
You will be the judge.
Let's end it a little earlier so that way there's some separation between hearing the new songs. All that's good. Last thing to do is put track A and track B above each one of these. So we're just going to take this and say track A. Make sure it's centered. You could probably make it a little smaller. Boom, like that. And we'll do the same for track B. Boom. Track A was the AI track. Okay, so we got the whole arrangement done here. Now we need to actually put this in a project that is the correct size. So once this is all good to go, what we're gonna do is select everything, hit Option G and create a new compound clip. We're gonna call this AI Real, hit OK. Now you can see everything is in one clip, so it's all merged together. Now if I take the overlay off it's still full screen, right? You can see all the stuff that I changed, how it's smaller here. Now we're going to create a new project, and we're going to call this AI real size. And I'm going to go vertical. We could just do 1080p is fine, and hit OK. Now here's a blank project. We can take this AI real, drag it in here, and you can see it's still that small size. Now if you select this, you select your clip, and under spatial conform, change this to fill. Now it's going to fill the whole screen, and since you already formatted it to be vertical size by using the overlay, it's right here for you, all done, and there is our reel. Now the only other thing I personally like to do on videos that I take that are long form and make them shorts, I have this little overlay here that says, full video on my YouTube channel, and I'm just going to copy that, go back to long form, and just paste that somewhere. And then I like to drag this all the way to the end. My track. I'd love to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. I put that in there. You don't have to. Again, it's just a way for me to gain some traction back to my YouTube channel.
The challenge. Make a hip-hop track in the key of D minor at a BPM of 162 that a modern radio rapper would topline. Here are the rules.
I get 1 day to create the song from start to end. AI gets, well, a few minutes. My track we made entirely of things that I play, no loops, all MIDI, straight from my head. For the AI track, we'll be creating it through soundful.com. Since music is subjective and there's really no right or wrong, you will be the judge. Track A was the AI track, and track B was my track. I'd love to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. But that's it. That's the whole idea of taking a long form video, cutting it down to a short or a TikTok or a reel. Gives you the opportunity to reuse this content on other platforms and maybe gain some traction by doing that towards your channel. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hit me with a like or a sub for the algorithm, and stay tuned for more content coming out soon. We out.